All right, if you had to do this by hand, that's the hard way to set this up. Okay, so since you know that it's given as an exponential function, we'll take our form of a function, of an exponential function, f of x is equal to a times b to the x. So here's just our little general form for this. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to pick one of these 2 points to use. So I'm going to just go ahead and use this one since it's first. I can choose either one though. And I'm going to plug that information into my function. Okay, so here's my y value is 1. I don't know my a and I don't know my b, but my x value is negative 4. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to solve this for a. Okay, so there's my first step. So I'm going to plug in my x and y. I'm going to solve for a. So I'm going to divide both sides by b to the minus 4th. So I get a is equal to, I'm just going to write it over here, and the minus power, the negative power, is going to move my base b up. Okay, and so this is what I get for that expression, correct? All right. So what I'm now going to do is I'm now going to take this equation here, and I'm going to rewrite it, but instead of plugging in an a and a b, I know my a in terms of b, so I'm going to substitute this in here. So I'm going to get the new function f of x is equal to, my a value is b to the 4th times b to the x. And once I have this new equation, what I can do here to solve for b is I can now plug in my other point. Okay, my y value is 12. I don't know my b, but my x value is negative 2. Okay, so what I get here as I work through this problem is I get, when you multiply exponents with the same base, what do you do with their powers? Add 4 plus a negative 2 is 2. Extract my square root. Okay, and so here is my b value. And I'm not going to leave it like this. I mean, I could simplify it as well, but I'm going to use the decimal form anyway because it wants 4 decimal places. Okay, and so what I know right now is I know this portion of my function. So my answer is going to be f of x is equal to whatever my a value is times the square root of 12, which I can calculate here. Okay, so I get 3.4641. Okay, all to the x. And so all I need to do is figure out what my a value is. Okay, well, what do I know a is equivalent to? Yeah, so what I can do is I can take this, my a value is b to the 4th, and if b is square root of 12 to the 4th, the square root cancels, so I get 12 squared, and 12 squared is 144. And so this would be my equation. All right, so if I take these 2 points and I enter them in my data matrix editor, so I go to apps, choose data matrix editor, current. Again, if you are in that, if you need to create a new file for it, let me know. I'll do that later. But here, I do want to clear everything. If you're in the data matrix editor and you want to clear it, just hit F1 to access tools, choose 8 to clear the editor, and you can enter your points. Now, I only have 2 points here. So I have the point negative 4 and 1. Okay, and then I have the second point, negative 2 and 12. Okay, and that's fine. That's all I need for this, because when I go in now to my calculate tab, my F5 calculate tab, I can choose what type of calculation I'm using, and this is exponential regression, EXP-REG. So if I access that, and then I do the same thing that I did with linear and quadratic regression. I label my x and y as column 1, so C1 is my x, C2 is my y. I'm going to go ahead and store this regression equation to y1 just so I have access to it. And when I hit enter, I see my a value is 144, my b value is 3.4641. I can plug that into my general form a times b to the x, and that gives me the same function.